This has gone crazy. Look how long that is. I don't know if you can see it, but I just put the mower on a high mow to do this bit. It's so long. And look at my damn garden beds. It's just out of control. Spring's definitely here. So, I'm trying to get a bit of mowing done today anyway, but not going to get a lot done, but it's okay. Every bit counts, right? Holy moly. And I forgot about my seed snails, didn't I? But they look okay still. Some, I don't know if I've killed because they're really dry. These are all need to get out of here, and I've got to work out where to put them. Oh God, I'll water them in a minute. But I did buy some celery. So, this is not the update I was planning to have at this time of year. I was hoping to show you how everything's going. I was planning on having a lot of seeds in right now and all my little seedlings popping up. And to be honest, this is the first time in about a week or two I've been out here, and I bought bloody celery, and look, I've let it go. These need to go on the ground, but I haven't had a chance. The grass is overgrown, the weeds have taken over. We have just got a mega mess. I'll explain to you in this video why. I've got to touch base with that one. But, oh my goodness, that's a positive. I'm just a bit scared to go over there. Ooh. Look at these swede. They've gone to seed. I've actually got to rip them out. Just noticed Brian's put more mats down. Not carpet, what do you call it? Fake grass. Still no signs of me asparagus. Oh, hang on. Yes, there is. No, there's not. Oh. Oops, don't know what that was. Oh, I think I killed that. The rhubarb's looking good. Do I have any peas? I don't know. Lots of flowers. The silver beet's going crazy. Yes! Look! I've got peas. Oh, that makes me feel a bit emotional actually with what's been going on in our lives. I've got peas on this one too. Maybe. If not, they won't be far off. The newer garlic's growing okay. Actually not game enough to walk over there at the moment, but the garlic's looking okay. My lemon tree, I think, is dead. Far out. Sometimes you just got to make 10 minutes of time just to do it. Just get in and do it. This didn't take long at all. Not what I was hoping for, but hey, probably enough swede here to make a good soup. I better check on the parsnip, but that's all taken out. Huh, what's that? I need to pull that out too. Alright, let's see if I can save these. Fill water up in there, water it from underneath. Let's see, fingers crossed. I've got water in these as well from the bottom. You just don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, there's no parsnip ready. However, I've got all these seed that I'm going to go wash. So this video is not going to be an extra happy one. Let me tell you what's been going on. And I think I've mentioned some of it. I know I've mentioned some of it in a past video. But, so Brian, my husband, is type 1 diabetic and has been since he was 9 years old. About, I don't know, 7 years ago, he had trouble with an ulcer. It's called a plantar ulcer, and if anyone knows what they are, you know how hard they are to heal. This plantar ulcer was caused by a foreign object in his foot, which we believe was from a podiatrist. Anyway, back then he'd already had 2 toes amputated, his big toe on his left foot and 1 toe, like his second toe off his right foot. But back then he ended up getting another toe amputated, and then like a year later, like this went on for a couple of years, a year later he ended up having a half foot amputation. So that's why you see Brian walking around, he's a bit wobbly. That is why. So he has 4 toes on the left, and he has half a foot on the right foot. He's got no toes. Now, excuse my mess behind me. I'm in my lounge room. Anyway, so I don't know, quite a few months ago now, Brian got some new shoes. He can only wear Crocs. He has tried special orthopedic shoes, and they just made him roll his ankle, and he had all sorts of trouble. And so far, the only shoes he can wear are Crocs, and they have to be the genuine Crocs. He can't have a cheap alternative. He got a new pair for his birthday in July. Sorry, Brian, I know when your birthday is. But we had a bit of a family emergency that required an important appointment, and Brian wore his new shoes that he hadn't been wearing and walked around a fair bit in a big town. So because of this, it caused a plantar ulcer on the top of his foot. Not underneath as usual, on the top. And that's his foot with his toes that are left. So because of this, he's had to be really careful with what he's doing. And so anyone that knows, like they understand, these plantar ulcers can take sometimes 6 to 12 months to heal. They're a really slow healing process, particularly when you have neuropathy, which is no feeling in your feet or legs. Well, in his case, yeah, it's a fun and games. You really, really keep a good eye on it, because if he gets an infection that's called osteomyelitis, which he's had in the past, that doesn't mean a half foot amputation, that means a half leg. Anyway, that's the first thing that's been going on. Then back in August, we all came down with RSV. Now, we were all scared years ago of getting COVID, and I know it killed so many people around the world. But RSV, it's nasty. You don't want to get it. If you haven't had it before, you don't want to get it. It is really, really horrible. Now, that's been, so, what? Mum got it towards, before her birthday, so mid-August. And then a few weeks later, she was coming good, and she had a fall, at 5 o'clock in the morning. So when an elderly person, so Mum's 81, so when an elderly person has a fall, it's quite traumatic, mentally as well as physically for them. Now, Mum's got an undiagnosed dementia, and we don't know if it's vascular dementia due to 2 strokes a few years ago, or whether it's Lewy body, or whether it's Parkinson's. So I've been trying for about good 2 years to get a doctor to listen to us and saying, Mum needs to be tested. And even Mum has asked to be tested, because she knows something's not right. But yeah, anyway, so Mum has this fall. So as I mentioned in my previous video, or previous gardening video, I think, it took 3 hours for the ambulance to get here when we called the ambulance. So it was cold. The floor was cold. We tried to make Mum as comfortable as we possibly could. We could not get her up off the ground because she was a dead weight, and which is fine. We can usually manage that, but her leg, she couldn't move her leg. Her left leg wouldn't bend. It was in a lot of pain. So we had to wait for an ambulance. Following that fall, Mum had heaps of tests, like she had I think a CT, an X-ray or whatever on her hip because I thought maybe she'd broken her hip. She wasn't presenting with any signs of a stroke. I said she's had 2 before and she's had a TIA. However, I thought maybe because mum's on blood thinners due to, she has AF, so I can never remember what it's called. Atrial fibrillation? So it's an irregular heartbeat. She's had that for years. So she's on blood thinners. And then they put them up because when she had her 2 strokes, like, we need to increase your blood thinners. So we then thought, oh no, maybe she's having a brain bleed or something because she's not right. Like, she wasn't making sense. She thought she fell over down the street, not at home. I thought, I know she's got dementia, but this is a bit different to her normal dementia. Anyway, they scanned her head. They scanned a fair bit of her body, and they found nothing wrong. So mum was in hospital for, I don't know, a good 5 weeks. And then we had to make the decision, the hard decision, that mum had to go into care. Now, I don't know about you, but me personally, I love my mum and dad. And to have to make the choice to put them into aged care because you can no longer look after them is really, really hard. You go through levels of guilt, and then you go through levels of anger. And then it's really, really strange. It feels like they've died, and they haven't. They're still living, but you go through a roller coaster of emotions, and that's what I've been going through for 5 weeks now. Well, the 5 weeks leading up to her care anyway. So mum goes into care last Tuesday, and on the bright side, she's where dad is. Not that dad really knows who she is anymore. He's got Alzheimer's, and he's nearly 90. But mum's gone into care. It's a place she's familiar with. She knows a few of the nurses, so she's really, really comfortable. We've got her a new little bar fridge, new tally for her room, and she's just starting to settle in. So she got there like Tuesday afternoon. And on Thursday evening, I had to run dad's bloody smokes into him. And mum, just a few more things that I'd packed up for her from home. You know, like her wool that she really wanted so she could do some crocheting. And I said to mum, I'm really sorry, mum, I can't stay. Sorry, we can't stay because Brian was with me. We can't stay. I just have to go do the last bit of our shopping. But like this stage, it was 7 o'clock. I said, mum, and we haven't even had dinner yet. I haven't even got it on. And she said, oh, no, that's okay, that's okay. So off we go to Coles because I do an Aldi shop. That's my biggest shop. And then I go to Coles or Woolies or IGA or whatever. So we finished our shopping and it was 8 o'clock and I've just got out into the car. Brian's putting the trolley away for me and I've got a text from mum. And she says, oh, just after you left, my hand went all crampy and then my left hand went all crampy and then numb. So I've had to buzz for a nurse to come in and help me go to the toilet. They took my blood pressure. It was up a bit. It shouldn't be up this time of night. It's unusual. And I thought, oh no, she's having a bloody stroke because this is how she's presented before. So I rang the nurse straight away, the head nurse, because I knew who it was that night because I'd just been speaking to her. So I rang her and I said, mum's numb hand, I think she's having a stroke or about to have a stroke. She said, oh, is this how she's presented in the past? I'm like, yes. She said, oh shit, I'll ring the doctor now. She said, are you happy if mum's going to be transported to have testing tonight? And I'm like, yep, definitely. So she rang me back not long after. She said, okay, the doctor and I both feel that mum has to go over to a bigger hospital to have her testing because our hospital doesn't have things like, well, we don't have any radiology at night time or on weekends because we're a small hospital, but we also don't have an MRI machine, whereas this bigger hospital does. So I said, okay, I'm coming back in. I'll come sit with mum until the ambulance arrives. So I've gone back in, sitting with mum. Now, within herself, she sounded fine. She didn't have a droopy mouth. She didn't have anything wrong on her face. But she couldn't use her left hand. She could wriggle her fingers like this, but she couldn't grasp anything. She couldn't, she had a glasses case and she couldn't open the glasses case. It was really frustrating her. But when the ambulance got there and they do their testing, one of the stroke things are lift your hands up in front of you. So like that, excuse my shit behind me. Lift your hands up in front of you. Now she did. Now her left arm, she couldn't lift anywhere near as high as her right arm. They got her up to get her onto the stretcher, and she said, "Oh no, my leg." Her leg was numb as well, and I'm thinking, "Oh crap." Anyway, they took her off to the big hospital that night, and she got there at about 10:30 this stage. So just a little interruption from that part. While I was at the care place, I thought I better pop around and see my dad. And I don't usually see him at night time because I know he does a thing called sundowning, which is when the sun goes down, their personality changes and they become someone who they aren't. And it's a bit horrible to watch. But anyway, I thought I better go see Dad. So I've gone and seen Dad. And my dad, oh my goodness, he's what they call a bowerbird. He goes and collects everything that's not his, and it's all in his mind, it's all his. And I walked into his room. He's at the fridge pouring a drink of lemonade. His fridge is pretty full. And then I've looked over onto his little table and it's like he's on the grocery shop. He's got food everywhere. I'm like, oh no. He was pretty grumpy. I said to him, "Dad, just coming to let you know that Mum's had to go off in an ambulance." And he's like, "What?" I said, "Dad," he's half deaf. "Dad, I'm just letting you know, Mum's had to go off in an ambulance." He's like, "What?" I said, "Dad, I'm just letting you know, Mum's gone off in an ambulance." And he goes, "You've effing told me 4 times already." And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. But that's what I mean by their personality changes. My dad's not an aggressive man. Well, my old dad's not an aggressive man. Anyway, just want to throw that little funny in there that happened as well. So, Mum goes off to the big hospital. Now, I'm her legal power of attorney and medical decision maker, as I am Dad's. And I didn't go over there because, like, it's an hour away, and I would have gone over if it was really critical, like if they thought something was worse than it was. But I'm trying to ring them. I rang him. I was trying to get through till 3 o'clock in the morning. Nothing. The next morning, I slept until about 9 o'clock. I get up and I start ringing the hospital again. Still nothing. And like, this is a Saturday. So, hang on. Thursday night. Oh, this is Friday. Sorry. Anyway, trying to ring. Can't get through. Finally get someone to be able to get me through to speak to somebody. They don't have me down as power of attorney, just next of kin and daughter. So I soon got that change, and by this time it got to like, I don't know, 3:30, I think. And I thought, enough's enough. I'm ringing the complaints line, or the feedback line as they call it. Like, this is not good. I should be able to find out what's going on with my mother. So finally, someone called me back, and they were really apologetic. Like this lovely, lovely nurse. She was so apologetic. And I said to her, "Look, I really do understand how crazy it gets in the emergency department there. I've only been over there a few months ago with my husband. I know how crazy it is now." She said, "No," she says, "no excuse. Someone should have rang you." So what had happened is she'd had a CT and all these other tests, and nothing came back, but they were still suspecting a stroke or Bell's palsy. And Mum had Bell's palsy episode years ago. So anyway, this nurse also says to me, "Right now, Mum's in having an MRI." She said, "But it will take a few hours till we get any results back." I'm like, "Yeah, that's okay, but thank you so much." At about 6 o'clock that night, I think it was, maybe 6 whatever, I had a doctor ring me. He said, "Hi, I'm from the neurology team. I just want to let you know your mum's results are back and definitely are confirmed. I see mixed stroke on her right side of her brain where she has had her previous strokes." So at least we got that. But what makes me think is when she had her fall, even though she wasn't presenting like her normal signs and symptoms of a stroke, I don't know if she's had a stroke then as well, but I suppose in the MRI they can usually pick up how many strokes have happened and how old they are, I think. So I must ask them about that. So yeah, so currently Mum is in the big hospital. It's an hour away. We went and saw her yesterday. She is bedridden. She can't use the left side of her body at all. She's sort of okay in herself, but she's also, is it delusional? I don't know. She talks normal, talks about things normal, and then all of a sudden there's a really weird story that pops out. Like apparently last time, well, the third time she had to go to that hospital after her 2 strokes, apparently she was shoved in a laundry room and they had to move all this laundry stuff to the side, and her trolley was shoved straight up against the wall, and that was really uncomfortable. Now that did not happen. It did not happen. So this is what a stroke does to your brain. So when you have to make a decision to put a loved one in care, it is a really, really difficult decision. And like if it wasn't for my family, my children, they're all adults, my uncle, my auntie, my husband, it would have been really hard to make that decision without them, even though I'm the sole decision maker of Mum and Dad, well, with their medical stuff. It's a really tough spot to be in. And last night I had the realization of, oh no, I don't know how Mum's going to be. Like sometimes, like with strokes, when you've had a stroke, you can take days, weeks, months, maybe even years to make any type of recovery from that and to be able to improve anything like movement. However, we don't know. You don't know. It's a waiting game. I don't know if Mum's going to be bedridden for the rest of her life. We don't know if another big stroke's going to come along and just go boom and take her out. And I don't know. That sounds harsh, but hey, it's reality. But the realization last night was like, when you have somebody with dementia, I think they call it the long death. And it really is. Watching Dad over the last, I don't know, probably 3, 4, 5 years, more so the last 2 years, really decline and forget who anyone is, forgets who he is half the time, where he is, to lose that dad that I've always known, and he's not much there, not much of him's there anymore. It's a really tough thing to watch. And now with Mum, bloody dog. Now with Mum, she's got this thing too, and it's hard. Like, I thought in life you lose one parent and then, you know, years down the track, another one will go. And I haven't lost a parent yet. Well, not really. But the realization is I'm losing 2 parents at once here. It's bloody hard. It's emotionally tough. And I know we've all got to lose them one day. And I'm grateful that at almost 90 and 81, they're still here. And we've had this time with them. And I've been really lucky to have 2 really good parents. But yeah, it's bloody tough. And anyone else out there that's going through this or will go through this or has been through this, just know that when the time comes, or if the time comes, that you need to put your parents into aged care because you can no longer give them the care that they need at home. Don't feel guilty. Try not to feel guilty. I suppose you're going to feel guilty, but try not to. With the realisation when Mum had her, when I was waiting for an ambulance with her the other night, Mum and I were talking about it, and I said, Mum, aren't you glad you're in here, that we made the choice for you to come in here? And she said, yeah. I said, well, you've got nurses 24 hours around you. They acted really, really fast. I am ever so grateful for the care that Dad has been given in this care place. And he's been difficult. He's been so difficult for them. Well, not always, but most of the time. And Mum's only been in there 2 days, but they're asking, how is she? Is she okay? What's happened? Like, they give a shit. Their residents for them are their families. Like, you know, their special family. And our son, he works at aged care too, not this facility. And he does. His residents, they mean everything to him. And when they lose them, it's sad for them. Anyway, sorry about a crappier video. Well, you know what I mean. Not such a happy one. As for the garden and the backyard, I've texted our lawn man and he's coming to mow, I don't know, sometime this week and whip a snip for us. But I've just got to find time to get out there and pull them damn sweet out, tidy it up a bit. I'm seriously thinking if it's not going to be a big garden year this year with everything that's been going on, and I need to be okay with that. You know, I had these dreams like you do every start of every spring. Just before spring hit, you said, oh, I'm going to plant this, I'm going to plant that, I'm going to plant this. Usually I've got hundreds of seeds out there planted and seedlings popping up and all looking beautiful. Yeah, I need to give myself a break here. It's okay, I don't need to do that. I can go and purchase some seedlings this year. I'm really thinking in the back garden beds. I've been waiting for years to get me higher raised ones that we're going to build. I'm really considering pulling out them sleepers, mowing over it all, and just letting it be this spring, and only using our little U-shaped one out the side there, and just to plant what I can, because I don't have it in me. I really don't. But let's see what happens anyway. I've got to grow something. I've got to grow tomatoes. I need to grow cucumbers. And I really need to grow beans. I love growing beans. They're one of my favourite things to grow because they just taste so much better. So do tomatoes. I need to put zucchini. My favourites are zucchini, tomatoes, beans, capsicum, and cucumbers. And if I can't get anything else, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I'm really thinking it's time to pull them beds up and just raking over the soil and just starting again with that next year or even for next season, because I'm happy to grow some. I definitely want to grow some winter garden again. But sometimes life happens and you've got to be okay with that and not be so hard on yourself. But thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I've bored the crap out of you and I'm swearing and anyway. But yeah, I'm sorry if you haven't enjoyed this video. I'm not saying like poor me. I'm making this video because I know there's other people out there with stuff going on in their lives too that are really affecting them right now or have just recently. But just know you're not please don't be doing it alone. Someone's out there that wants to listen. See you later, friends.